Hey guys, Max Scoville here for Destructoid. I'm with our producer of the Destructoid show, Mr. Zach Miner.
Hey guys.
We got Ninja Gaiden 3.
We did. We got a few
Ninja Gaiden
copies.
3. Got a few copies, and we actually decided to let Zach help review one.
It's very rare that I get to play video games around here.
Yeah,
but I love Ninja Gaiden.
You're a big fan of the series. I, for one, am kind of a virgin. I played the old NES ones, but you were excited for this. You were looking forward to it.
I was very excited. I've loved all the Ninja Gaiden games. Especially Ninja Gaiden on the original Xbox. I think everyone was blown away by that. I played Ninja Gaiden Black, I played Ninja Gaiden Sigma. I want to get a Vita so I can play Ninja Gaiden Sigma again. I love Ninja Gaiden 2, so I was really excited, even though this is the first Ninja Gaiden that has not been directed by Itagaki. Right?
So Itagaki is the one who's known for his leather pants and for being a sexual harasser.
Yes.
Basically a rock star who makes games with tits and bloods in them, and he's into the things that make things fun.
Right.
And he wasn't involved with this, and I think it really shows.
It does, actually. It really does. So should we just kind of get into it?
Yeah, let's get into it.
All right, so story-wise, it is another Ninja Gaiden game. No, okay, Max, come on.
Okay, the thing that I found just right off the bat is that I did some background research, and the part of the Ninja Gaiden series that's absolutely never been received well is the story, because it's completely ridiculous, and the general consensus seems to be like, if you're gonna find yourself fighting like flaming armadillos, and it doesn't really matter, and it's really weird. You're gonna fight some demons. There's gonna be some big boobs everywhere, and just some gore, and it's like, the gameplay is what matters.
It's true, yeah. The story is just typical Japanese fantasy that we've seen in the previous ones with crazy monsters, dinosaurs, guys with machine guns, demons.
Why is the dinosaur made of metal? Who cares? Like,
but you know what? For a game where you have to slice things with a sword, I like a story that takes me to a place where I have to go into an ice cave and kill weird monsters, or I have to go into a jungle and kill dinosaurs. Like, I like that I'm not just killing the same types of enemies, but the story is ridiculous. Really, as you were saying, the heart and soul of these games is the gameplay.
The game starts, before you even get to the title screen, it's just, it gives you a quick time event of Ryu taking off his mask, and then blood splattering, and I think that really sums it up. There's some gore, that's cool. He takes off his mask, there's like no pageantry to it at all. There's no like, oh my god, he's gonna take off his mask. It's like, nope, first thing, takes off his mask, and you're like
a fucking pansy too.
Why? And he's like, as a character,
leave the mask on.
I don't know. It's not. I'm not having fun as a ninja and something. If you're playing a game where you are a ninja who is fighting a giant metal dinosaur and it's boring, something went wrong.
All right, it's not boring. That's your opinion. Let's just talk about the gameplay. Okay, let's take a step back. So the gameplay in the Ninja Gaiden games has always been this kind of amazingly addictive combination of like beat 'em up.
It's a technical beat 'em up.
Yeah,
it's like if you had fighting game controls applied to a beat 'em up, and it actually you have to know what you're doing. You can't just mash attack.
Yeah, if you want to beat the game, like the games are notoriously difficult. This one's a little bit easier. You have to learn some of the key moves. And for the most part, I would say that's true of Ninja Gaiden 3. You can still like put together some awesome combos if you don't know what you're doing. There is a moves list, but it's like buried within a crazy menu system.
The game is one of those games that likes to tell you repeatedly, give you pointers, push this button to do this, like push B to open a door, and it's like, well, it never actually tells you to press back to bring up your moves list. I didn't find that until 3 hours into the game, at which point I was like, wow, well, it sure must be an important moves list if I haven't needed to refer to it once.
And they never tell you to learn new moves. One of the awesome things about the previous games is that there's a really great progression path in the sense that as you went along the game, you would learn new abilities, new techniques. None of that is true in this one. Pretty much from what you can do at the start of the game, you can do at the end of the game.
You get a bow and arrow in the second level.
You get a bow and arrow in the second level, and that's pretty much it. You have one weapon, there's no more inventory, there's no more items. You have your dragon sword, and that stays throughout the entire game. There are upgrades that it gets, but you're not notified of those upgrades. You just kind of can do longer combos and more powerful abilities. And one of the great things about the other ones is you could go to the Muramasa store. Muramasa store is gone in this one. Actually, it makes an appearance at the end, but you see
there's no collectibles, no chests,
more loot,
no nothing.
There's no chests.
There's no combo counter.
That's another thing. There's no more on-screen combo counter. So there's no really like reward for being like, all right, if I go into this room, can I kill all these guys without getting hit? There's none of that, which was always really fun. And it was great to experiment with like the nunchucks in the earlier game, or like the giant like hammer, and all of that is gone.
See, I'm interested in the other games now.
What you're left with really is just like kind of a beat 'em up that is just a little bit deeper. There's a new charge attack. In the previous games, you could kind of hold down the heavy attack and it would charge up a special attack. That has been replaced by the strange mechanic where Ryu's cursed arm will start glowing. at a
Spoiler
certain
alert,
point.
your arm gets
Cursed at the end of the first
you
level.
suck up the sword
It's
into your
also
arm.
on the cover of the game, right? So not really a spoiler.
You get an evil arm, whatever.
But anyway, so when that starts glowing red, after you kill a certain amount of enemies, you can do like a special ultimate attack. But you don't know how many people it takes to kill in order for that to charge up. It just like kind of suddenly appears.
Yeah, it's like having a new message light, except it's on your arm.
And you don't know
kill
why
people.
it's there. It seems to appear more frequently at some points. So that kind of goes along with the lack of a combo meter in that like there's no more on-screen feedback that kind of like, okay, I need to kill 3 more guys in order to charge this up and then I can take out that room. It really removes a lot of the strategy.
Yeah.
Additionally, the ninpo attacks, which have been kind of the magic in previous games, have been completely revamped. There used to be like slots that you had like 3 slots to begin with, I think. Now there's just 1 meter that gets filled up, and when you unleash it,
A dragon flies around.
yeah,
Flies
it
around.
looks awesome the first time. The first time you see it, you're like, yes.
wow, and then you do it.
And then you realize that is the only ninpo attack.
Yeah.
That is the only one.
Also
Throughout the entire game, you see that same dragon animation.
The dragon flies around and takes a bunch of guys
And then
eats them, except it doesn't eat them.
It just kind of chomps on
It's just
them.
he puts them in his mouth and then it comes back and they're just sort of lying on the
But
ground.
it always seems to be a different amount of enemies that it kills.
Yeah.
It does not clear the room. It also regenerates your health. That's what makes this game way
if you
easier.
have a move where a giant dragon comes out of nowhere and like kills everybody in the room, you shouldn't be able to miss. But it's possible to miss.
It's possible
to
miss. But yeah, so that's a major gripe. They did add a lot of things too. They didn't just take everything out.
They added a lot of QuickTime events.
They added
is that right?
a lot of QuickTime events.
QuickTime events.
During combat,
Did you have fun with the kunai climbing?
Okay.
Kunai climbing.
The
Oh my
kunai
god.
climbing is by far the worst thing they added in this game. They decided that like jumping from side to side was not a cool enough way to climb up places. Now you climb up by using daggers in what's called the kunai climb. And so it basically, you come to a wall and it asks you to stab in with both of your triggers to stab in each dagger.
You just do that.
And then you have to press like left trigger, left trigger to move your arms up and down. And what it's like, did you ever play any of those shitty branded Olympic games where you had to control the runner and you have to like alternate the button presses? It's just like that.
Yeah.
It's also like GURP.
It's like QWOP. It's not difficult. It's not
It's
challenging.
not difficult at all, but they put it through the entire game and it's like, get this kunai climbing out of my face.
I wonder if they've played the game. Because honestly, that's kind of tedious the first time you do it, and then you have to keep doing it throughout the game. And you know what's really fun is when a ninja jumps up a wall really fast. What's not fun is when he's gradually climbing slowly.
And there's some major sequences where you do it, and like you don't feel like a ninja. You know, I forget what game you talked about this in, but there's a lot of segments where it's like I'm at the top of this building. There's a broken fence, but I can't jump over it. I have to run down the stairs. Like it looks like the environment is designed so that someone could have like burst through this.
Yeah.
But you can't jump anywhere. You have to just run.
The saddest moment, I was watching my friend play, and he's really a big Ninja Gaiden fan.
Yeah.
He's really excited about it. He's also a game designer. We got to a part where there's a door, and the door is the obvious place you're supposed to go to. And he goes up to it, and the first thing he did was attack it, because you're cutting through like dudes,
Sure.
and I just killed a giant robot spider,
Right.
and I approached this door, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna open the door, or at least either open the door automatically or cut through the door.
Yeah.
And he's just like slashing at it and jumping around, and
Right.
I'm like, no, you gotta press B. And he's like, seriously, I gotta press a button to open the door. He presses B, and Ryo just kicks the door down. And it's like, you couldn't have made the kicking part an attack.
Right.
It's a QuickTime event, basically.
As far as the boss fights go, they fall squarely in the game design school of if it is glowing, you need to attack that part.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much every boss fight. There's also a bunch of QuickTime events throughout the boss fight.
Also, the bosses don't have life bars. You can't see their life bars.
No, it's just
and
kind of like
you're like,
keep
how
hitting the sky.
many times do I have to do this obvious thing
Yeah.
about hitting it in the glowing spot before it dies?
They also tried to do some new stuff where there's like a stealth segment. Like it's actually really cool in the beginning where there's fog and you have to sneak up on a guy, but that's used twice in the beginning and then never revisited. And that kind of feels like that sums up the Ninja Gaiden 3 experience in that they decided, okay, people say our games are too hard, let's streamline them by taking out stuff that actually was not the hard part. It was like the really enjoyable, stuff that made it more than a beat 'em up.
It's a soulless game. It didn't suck me in as a person new to the series, and everyone I've talked to who's a fan of the series to begin with seems pretty pissed off about it.
Right.
It reminds me of in those commercials for something that's totally not gaming related. The video game the kid is playing on the TV, where there's just like sort of the ninja jumping around and there's blood and explosions and a dinosaur.
Yeah.
And it's like what someone who doesn't know about video games might think a video game is, and in this case, it's that's kind of a sad thing.
Yeah, there's just not a whole lot there. A couple things that we neglected to mention. We didn't talk about multiplayer because multiplayer has not been turned on yet.
Right.
Anthony Carboni is doing a review over on Rev3 Games, and he will be tackling the multiplayer when it goes live tomorrow.
Those hard-hitting
Additionally,
issues.
yeah, I don't know how appealing it could be, but another part of the game, the Ninja Trials, which are basically challenges where you have to do certain moves, actually really fun, and it does have the on-screen meter. You can unlock like new weapons and new costumes for your guy. So like there's some really awesome stuff there that I wish had been integrated into the single player.
Would've been nice.
But on a whole, it's disappointing. I think in like July it will be like 30 or 40 bucks, and I would say it's probably worth a pickup then.
30 bucks, not terrible. 60 bucks, not worth it.
If you have a Vita, go play Ninja Gaiden Sigma on the Vita, or if you have a PS3, go get Ninja Gaiden Sigma, or if you have an Xbox, get Ninja Gaiden 2. Those are unfortunately better Ninja Gaiden experiences.
If you have a Nintendo Entertainment System, go get Ninja Gaiden 1.
If you have a Nintendo Entertainment System, I don't know why you're watching this show, because we do not cover the new Nintendo Entertainment System games.
If you have a Sega Genesis, go get Shinobi.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess that's it for kind of meandering review, right?
Yeah, that's our meandering review. Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, go follow Max on Twitter. He's Max Scoville. I am Zach Miner.
Zach Miner.
We also did a full news show today. You can go watch that over on youtube.com/dtoid. Max is probably going to hurt someone with his sword, so we should probably just stop rolling the camera.